Upon entry, we are given a human body and the means to control it. We enter this system as an avatar capable of moving through time and space. We are given the independence of thought and movement, a single being that is very powerful. One human body at maximum capacity has the ability to bend this entire system to their own will. We have seen this with dictators, spiritual leaders, and in others in positions of power where the point of influence to millions lies with one being. It only takes one person to irreversibly change the world forever. That one part can affect the entire whole is testament to the power that one holds within them, and the system has no interest in you changing it. Your body is an instrument of energy conduction, capable of wielding unimaginable levels of force. There are systems in place that seek to stop this from happening, to prevent an excess of power given to a single individual, a sort of algorithm that operates to prevent any movements that work to compromise the clutch of power that is being held over all entities. As time moves forward, this system that has been in place for so long is becoming known to humanity. Interestingly enough, as the system works to consolidate its power over the whole is becoming aware of the system itself. The world is awakening. As the integration process of human to digital continues, soon everything that exists inside of our phones and computers will exist all around us in the physical realm that we inhabit. This process is slowly culminating into a single pinpoint of power, a singular event that will open a portal into the next dimension, that we will all soon inevitably traverse through, the next level of existence. Any techniques that condense immense powers into a single entity or being gives rise to an independent source of power within that individual. This power grants the individual a stronger capacity to physically manifest their will into physical form. When much energy accumulates within a single unit of space, the pressure within that space increases. If the structure cannot withstand the pressure, a leak is formed and the energy dissipates out into the ether. A balloon with too much air bursts. Sun rays condense through a magnifying glass burn. A nuclear device reaching critical mass causes a nuclear chain reaction. Condensed energy is a powerful force. It is the strength and integrity of the structure that determines how much pressure it can withstand, thus how much energy it can hold. Semen retention works in such a way that one can accumulate their energy inside of their body so that it regenerates themselves into a highly powerful state of life force. The level of accumulation depends on the individual's strength of will to keep these forces within their body without them being expelled. Sexual energy conservation is an alchemic process that has been discussed and practiced throughout the ages since ancient times. That is why most great geniuses like Pythagoras, Plato, Aristotle, Leonardo da Vinci, Spinoza, Newton, Beethoven, Spencer, etc. led continent lives. They conserved their seminal lecithin, which was converted into brain lecithin, providing their brains with optimal phosphoric nutrition on which brain activity so greatly depends. The ancient Greek philosophers speculated much concerning a possible internal physiological function of the semen when retained within the body. There is still much we are yet to learn about energy, so we see the benefits of retention expressing themselves in oftentimes abstract ways that appear almost unexplainable to anyone who hasn't tried it for themselves. Attention from people, from animals, unsolicited offers from others, heightened intuitive awareness, and so on. If you have ever seen sound waves in sand, you will see that the patterns of sand are organized into completely different forms depending at which frequency the sound waves are vibrating at. In much the same way, you are raising an output frequency by abstaining from interaction of your lower energies. This change in frequency rearranges the entire state of your very existence. Your semen creates life. Your body is life, and in order to make new life, it has to sacrifice a small portion of its own. Many people today are losing this valuable resource on a regular basis, and repeated over time, this has been said to deplete our overall life force. After the leaks of loss are stopped and the energy builds up within the body, one may feel immense emotional and physical pressure, coupled with a strong desire to release those built-up energies via sexual activity. But once this leak of release is sealed up, the energy will seek to express itself in other ways, in more creative forms of endeavor. This is how transmutation occurs. This energy needs to be expressed, and it will express itself unconsciously in anything that you do, in any venture you undertake. It does not necessarily require any such special rituals to transmute this energy. All that is necessary is the habit of retention and the physical commitment to the objectives and activities you are carrying out. If you're an artist, you just need to keep making art while retaining. If you're a business owner, you just need to keep working on your business while retaining. It has been my experience that no particular transmutation ritual is necessary here. It is simply the physical act of carrying out your life's work whilst conserving sexual energy that will allow for transmutation to occur. A speaker or writer who is addicted to waste in this department, though he may talk and write with great profuseness, may expect that his words will be comparatively powerless in their effect upon others. They will lack germinating power. But he who retains this element, other forces being in proper balance, charges not only his words, but his very atmosphere with a power which penetrates and begets new thoughts and new emotions in those with whom he comes in contact. Reserve is the grand secret of power everywhere. And when the fit time comes to exercise the crowning function of manhood, to impart the germ of a new immortal who shall repeat oneself in a nobler type, to expand and rejoice through the eternities, he who has reserved his forces has at full command the elements requisite for the godlike purpose. As an entity increases in energy, the power of their will increases accordingly. The body carries out the process of physical manifestation. The more energy in the instrument, the more force it is able to generate out into the physical realm. Written over 150 years ago on the subject of semen loss. But there should be no waste. It's too precious. It is the concentrated essence of all the life forces of your being, distilled and compounded with marvelous chemistry in the most wonderful of laboratories. These are not fine words, merely they state a most undeniable fact. This element, when retained in the system, the mental powers being properly directed, is in some way absorbed and diffused throughout the whole organism, replacing waste and imparting a peculiar vigor in every part. It is taken up by the brain and may be coined into new thoughts, perhaps new inventions, grand conceptions of the true, the beautiful, the useful, or into fresh emotions of joy and impulses of kindness and blessing to all around. This, in fact, is but another kind or department of procreation. It is the procreation of thoughts, ideas, feelings of goodwill, intentions of truth. That is, it is procreation on the mental and spiritual planes instead of the physical. Internally, there will be more energy to replenish lost energy stores and increase the structural integrity of your physical being. This surplus energy will be directed towards the regenerating of your organism's brain and nervous system, bloods, organs, and tissues. The process of regeneration is gradual and ongoing, much like the process of degeneration. Once the leaks are stopped, the elixir of life that was constantly being lost is secreted back into your system to power every cell within your body, to make your brain and body young again. It has been long known that the principal sex glands, the testes, produce the sperm cells which are the vital constituents of the semen. The semen which is excluded from the body at different times is called external secretion, But it has only been very recently that it has been discovered that the testes have another very important work, that of elaborating an internal secretion which is absorbed back into the blood and carried to every organ and tissue of the body. It assists in the building up of bone, muscle, nerve, and brain, and causes the higher characteristics of virile manhood to develop. Even at the present time, though, the exact nature of this wonderful secretion of the testes, which is called spermine, has not been determined, but the production by the testes of a substance having the wonderful influence mentioned has been plainly established. It is easy to see the wonderful effect of these fluids in the youth, and those that have lived continent lives have nothing but benefit to report from experiences. It is the secret of the wonderful transformation of the boy into a man. The powerful muscles, the vigor of nerve and brain, the manly form, the qualities of will, initiative and courage, idealism, the social instinct, sex, love, etc., are all dependent for their normal development on the sex organs. It is a well-known fact that through any cause the functions of the testes are destroyed before puberty. The essential characteristics of manhood take on a different form. They are likely to be completely without them, or only have them in a very minor form. Consider the transformational process a man goes through during the stages of puberty: the development of muscle and form, the growth of body hair, the deepening of the voice, the mental shift, an utterly metamorphic process of change taking place in large part due to the internal secretions of the male hormones from within the testes. From this process, do we not witness firsthand the indispensable value of the internal secretions and their necessity to the male human body? When the lymphatic system is filled with transformed vital fluids, we truly feel alive. This water of life fills the body with physical vitality and generates an abundance of the electric and magnetic forces that thrill the nerves with spiritual energy. The organs are fed with so much of the good life substance that they all rejoice in their duties and work so harmoniously that perfect health is realized in every part. The brain is fed with the subtle essences which are transformed into thought force, and the mind is clear and brilliant with a thought-creating power above the ordinary. Thus we see that the greater part of the physical and mental strength is derived from the conservation of sex life. It inspires to joyous activity in every line of work and gives that feeling of self-completeness and satisfaction that brings serenity and security of mind. The lymphatics reabsorb the vital essence that are not expended and return them to the blood, by which they are redistributed to the various physical organs. The organs of sex have other uses in the human economy than selfish gratification or the propagation of offspring. There can be no great development of spirituality until it is understood that the conservation of the sex fluid furnishes the essence from which the nerves and brain are nourished. These restorative and regenerative benefits associated with conservation have been written about extensively throughout history in the scientific, medical, biology, philosophical, and religious texts. From religions all over the world that had minimal contact with each other during previous periods, yet still arrived at similar conclusions regarding the benefits of retaining one's sexual force. The link between the mind, the sexual organs, and the connection to one's state of health have been recognized and discussed for thousands of years. Few souls there are on this earth capable of containing the life force that stirs inside of them, a force that so desperately wishes to escape. The essence of God that is flowing through your body and coursing through your veins. The renunciate attracts everything. Along the way, he can actually attain any worldly thing. The more austerities, the better your karma. The better your karma, the more lovely things are given to you, and the more your material attachments are tested. Your temptations increase as you become a renunciant, because one becomes more attractive to all of nature. You become a magnet for nature. And because you are no longer in nature's thrall, nature becomes your thrall. This goes on incarnationally until you have experienced enough to renounce all. This is a profound metaphysical truth and fascinating to watch. The aspirant will be tempted many times, and many times he may fall before attaining final liberation. The great yogi Swami Vivekananda wrote about the phenomenon this way. When you renounce nature, you find that she takes an interest in you. When you renounce her a little more, she begins to chase you. And when you finally don't care for her at all, she becomes your slave. Another way of stating the law is thus: when you become entirely devoted to the Lord of creation, all of creation becomes devoted to you. The universe exists all around you, yet within your being, the universe has concentrated into enough power to carry out its own will, the will of the universe. You are a living and breathing manifestation of this universe, and the universe around you is supporting this growth. Your being is carrying the torch for all of nature. Nature is on your side.